How do you make your dreams a reality? Has it been very challenging? Why? The Dream to Rise podcast was created to inspire individuals on their journeys of personal and professional growth. Recognizing the power of dreams and aspirations, this podcast aims to share authentic stories, valuable insights, and transformative strategies from a diverse range of guests. It serves as a platform for encouraging listeners to overcome obstacles, embrace their potential, and pursue their passions with purpose and determination, ultimately empowering them to turn their dreams into reality. Let us listen to our guest and learn from their story. Hello, welcome everyone. I would like to welcome also our guest for today. By the way, again, this is Cynthia Concordia from Dream to Rise. I got so excited to introduce our guest. Our guest is a certified health coach and founder of the Healthy Vibration, where he helps people build healthier, more empowered lives through mindset, movement, whole food nutrition, stress management, and sustainable habits. His coaching is rooted in lived experience, like overcoming alcoholism, navigating mental health struggles, healing from childhood and adulthood trauma, surviving profound personal loss and tragedy, and making sense of life through the lens of interracial adoption, through determination and self re-education. He also rebuilt his financial life. He lost 75 pounds and created a lifestyle grounded in regular fitness, healthier nutrition, meditation, and ongoing personal growth. Today, he is passionate about helping others transform pain into purpose, create meaningful connections, and realize that lasting change is possible to no matter where they begin. Without further ado, let us welcome Coach Timothy Baker. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
Should I call you Timothy, Coach Tim, or Coach Timothy?
Call me Timothy, please. Yes.
Timothy,
Hi,
okay.
Cynthia. So nice to be here. Thank you.
Same here. We had a chat before, and I discovered about his journey. I'm sure a lot of our listeners will be able to resonate and learn from his insights. So let's get started.
All
Okay.
right.
The Dream to Rise Inner Circle focuses on sharing stories.
Okay.
And my main objective is to really inspire and empower our listeners that there's truly light at the end of the tunnel despite all the challenges in life.
Right, right, right.
So, can you tell me something about yourself that brought
Sure,
you to where
sure.
you are right now?
Yeah, where to start? I mean, I love the idea of sharing the story. That's really powerful. And one of the things I love about it is when you share your story, you also learn. You're not just sharing it for others, but you get to see how others react to the things that you've been through, you know. And as I'm promoting my business, I'm finding a lot of that where sometimes when I get more personal, I get better reactions, right? Because there are people who go through similar things or similarly challenging things. It's not the same, but they get something out of it. For me, some of the things I've been through, my journey to become a health coach really began when I quit drinking alcohol. Before that, I had tried many substances and never been addicted to anything else, but I was completely powerless over alcohol. So that was my struggle. It almost ruined my life, or pretty much, it basically did ruin my life, but I was able to eventually recover. And that was the actual quitting drinking was the beginning of my health journey, but it actually took a good decade and a half before I started really getting what I would say is healthier and closer to wellness when I started doing deeper work and really working on myself to make the changes I needed to make. So that's just sort of a broad overview of where my journey started.
So when was that time wherein you told yourself, enough is enough? I have to change my way of life. I
Right.
should quit drinking. When was that
Right,
time?
right. So that was my last drink was on May 21st, 2004. So in almost exactly a month, I'll be celebrating 22 years. Yeah,
Yes.
so it's amazing. I mean, I still can't believe I've made it this long. You know, in some ways, I mean, my brain, there are parts of my brain that will always want and need alcohol, and I have to live with that daily, but it's so much easier now to not have to worry about it. And what led me to stopping drinking was legal trouble that I got into as a result of my drinking. In recovery circles, they call it a nudge from the judge, you know, where basically I was put on probation. I was told I had to complete two 6-month courses ordered by the court, one of which was a substance abuse course. So that was what prompted me to actually quit alcohol because I had tried many times before that, like so many people, and been unsuccessful completely. So being legally required and also taking a medication that I took that would make me sick if I did drink any alcohol. I did that voluntarily so that I wouldn't be tempted. The medication itself doesn't affect you at all unless you put alcohol in your body.
Oh, really? Is
Yeah,
it
so it's
like
more of a
chemically
psychological
induced?
deterrent where I knew if I drank, I would get sick. And so I just didn't approach alcohol at all. So that was the mental sort of trick that I needed in order to beat the addiction because I was physically dependent. I needed alcohol to function. My body had gotten so used to the amount of alcohol I was putting into it.
So is
Um,
this a prescribed medication?
It is, yeah. It's been so long. I can't remember the name of it.
But
Um,
at what age did you start drinking?
I had my first drink of alcohol probably when I was about 13.
Oh,
I was at a family function and I was allowed to drink a beer with the adults. And
uh-huh.
I felt like it was like a coming of age story for me, right? Like to be included among the adults at a family gathering. And obviously at that point it was responsible drinking and they had felt that I was old enough to at least taste it and sit with the adults. Um, and at the time, I don't think anyone in my family was an alcoholic or anything like that. So I didn't have any modeled behavior of alcohol abuse. Later in life, I found out that my uncle actually was an alcoholic, but I don't remember him exhibiting any signs of that at the time.
Do you still drink alcohol occasionally? On occasion? Oh, really? Zero.
Not at all. Not at all.
Wow.
It quite literally, I view it as a poison for me because I'm pretty certain if I were to even taste alcohol, it would trigger something within me that would give me the urge to continue drinking. And
And wine?
anything, any kind of
Oh, yeah.
alcohol. You can think of it as an allergy. My body cannot properly process alcohol, and I react in a way that is unhealthy. And so I can't take that chance because I know the effect that alcohol has on my life. Everything that I have right now is in jeopardy as soon as I put that substance into my body. And it's a little bit of a scary way to live because, you know, especially in the beginning, you're always on edge.
Mhm.
Um, Now I can go into an environment where other people are drinking alcohol and I feel comfortable. I know who I am. I know that I don't want to drink. I'm not interested. I'm not curious. I'm not tempted. In fact, in the last couple months, I've been going to bars and listening to live music, and I spend the entire night on the dance floor with a cup of water, and I sing and shout at the top of my lungs. I'm like a little kid out there, you
Great.
know? And I love it, and I'm 100% comfortable because I love the music and I'm enjoying the conversations that I'm having with people. But it took me a very long time to get to that point. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend it because it still is technically a dangerous situation. And it helps me when I'm around others who also are not drinking in that environment. There's a little bit of like moral support and camaraderie that way. Um,
So, besides that medication, what other ways and means did you use so you could stay away from alcohol? And now you are fully recovered.
right. It's such a good question. And you'll hear this a lot if the more people in recovery you speak with. It truly is by the grace of God. Somewhere early in my recovery, I discovered prayer. I was driving home. I think I was coming from the grocery store one evening after work, and I was very tired, very stressed, very drained, and I just wanted a drink. And it was probably only 2 or 3 months after I'd quit alcohol. So my system was very unbalanced and my nervous system was on edge and I was anxious and I was still physically dependent on alcohol, even though it had been a couple months. And so I wanted to drink more than anything else. I couldn't think straight. And I had learned through all the meetings of Alcoholics Anonymous that I'd been to before, we always closed with the Lord's Prayer, followed by the Serenity Prayer. And for whatever reason, I prayed that night and I said the Lord's Prayer and I said the Serenity Prayer. And I felt a little better. I still needed the drink, but I was so on edge that when I got even just the slightest bit of relief, and it wasn't physical, obviously, although there may have been a physical component, but I just noticed the slightest relief, and I would have taken anything at that moment, you know. Um, and that's what saved me because from then on, quite literally, every time that I got an urge to drink, I would recite both of those prayers back to back in my mind, regardless of what I was doing, whether I was with others or not. Generally, when I was speaking, I didn't get the urge, so it wasn't an issue. So I was always not speaking when I had the urge, and I would do that silently in my head in every situation. And if I finished both of those prayers and I still had the urge, I would repeat the prayers. And I did that as many times as necessary to get to a point where I didn't drive somewhere and buy a beer or a bottle of gin or a box of wine or whatever would satisfy that craving. That's the only thing that got me through for a very long time.
I'm glad you mentioned about God. What I've gone through, it was only through God that I was able to get that strength and hope. It really made a difference. I would always pray for God's grace, God's mercy, that hope I will be healed, especially if you're going through some kind of inner work. You won't be able to do it all by yourself. But I was able to get some support also from a group because it's also hard. Yes. Was there a support group who helped you also?
Mm. So this is where I struggle with my story because I want to help other people who are going through what I've been through. And the issue is that after I quit drinking, for whatever reason, I never felt comfortable in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I went to many, many meetings trying to quit, and I heard all the stories, picked up a lot of wisdom sort of vicariously just by being there. And there are certain phrases and sayings and habits that people have that help them to get sober and stay sober. So I learned some of that. And when I quit drinking, I remembered a lot of those things. For instance, there's the acronym, and I'm not sure if I can remember it because it's been so long. There's a 4-letter acronym that deals with 4 emotions that lead to cravings. Among them are anger and fear and sadness. And so if you're feeling those emotions, there's an increased possibility that you're going to want to pick up a drink or use a substance that you're addicted to. So there's wisdom like that I used after I quit drinking. But because I felt so out of place in Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, I never went to another meeting. And at the time, I didn't know of other alcohol recovery groups around because in therapy, I'd always been told it was AA or nothing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, the AA thing.
And now there are many, many more other groups that are available to people. There are a lot more resources, and it's a very different landscape right now. But at the time, I didn't know of any alternatives. So I did not reach out for support. I did not seek support. I didn't take therapy seriously. And so I went through a very isolated and difficult initial recovery that lasted for years. That experience damaged me in several ways because I was doing something very difficult and trying to figure it out on my own. And I did a little bit of research online and I did a lot of mental work, just reading philosophy, trying to learn more about how I perceive reality and that kind of thing. But it wasn't the kind of work that was guided or supported or deep in an emotional or spiritual way. So it was very, very difficult. And when I look at that period of my life, I don't consider it sobriety or recovery. I consider it a period of time where I wasn't drinking alcohol, but I wasn't really getting better. I wasn't changing my behaviors or my beliefs. I wasn't investigating my feelings or learning about my triggers or anything like that. Um,
So are you saying that probably a therapist or a coach would be necessary to make it a lot quicker for you to recover?
exactly. So what they say in recovery is the opposite of addiction isn't recovery, it's connection. And that is something that I learned firsthand is very true. And I learned it the hard way. Ever since I've started connecting with people, taking therapy seriously, building social relationships, letting myself be coached, and helping others by sharing my story, all those things, plus everything else that you get in any kind of relationship, whether it's platonic or business or family or friends or romantic. Um, all of these kinds of relationships, there's give and take, there's energy that goes between people. And it's 100% necessary if you want to be well, if you want to heal, if you want to enjoy life. I tried for a very long time. Really, I would say probably 14 or 15 years where I was
Mhm.
very isolated. Yes. And it was very difficult. I was filled with anger. I was filled with fear, and I didn't understand what was going on.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until I started connecting with people and doing the real work that I started healing and getting sober. So
Mhm.
technically, I've really only been sober for about 5 years.
Oh, really?
If you want to be technical about it, I haven't had a drink for 22,
Uh-huh.
but my actual recovery is very recent in comparison.
But at least you reached that point as well.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
There are many reasons and many ways that I could have failed along the way, and for whatever reason, God and prayer continued to be a part of my life, and that's the only reason that I made it as far as I did. And I still have a lot of growth to do, but it's just been amazing how things can change.
So what keeps you in power doing what you're doing right now? I mean,
I
what
have no idea. I have no idea. That's such a good question. But I don't know. One big thing is meditation. I discovered meditation in February of 2020, about 1 month before everything shut down for the pandemic.
Mhm.
And so the pandemic was a huge incentive for me to develop a regular meditation practice. And I did that very quickly, and I was consistent meditating at least once a day for several years. And that's everything that I learned through that experience is what keeps me grounded. And so now I have skills and I have a certain awareness. And that's where my energy comes from to do the things that I'm doing now is just a spiritual connection. And it's also the social connections that I have. That's my addiction now almost. I crave
Hmm.
being around other people and having conversations and just sharing and talking about anything because I didn't have that for so long.
A very
And
positive connection, addiction.
addiction, if you want to call it that. And I don't like to call it that,
But
but it's true, and I love it.
Mhm.
It's anytime I can have a conversation over anything, people probably get turned off by my enthusiasm because I'll laugh and smile about the smallest thing, because I'm just enjoying being in the presence of others,
Oh,
and it's so much fun. There's so much light in a life like that.
exactly. And me as well, I value human connection. And by the way, we met at the Loudon social
Collective. Yeah, I was just
collective.
there. There was
Yeah.
another meeting this morning. Yeah, I was
This
there.
morning, I missed
Yeah.
it through your meditation and prayer, because those are the two main things we focus on: health and well-being.
Hmm.
I believe the first step towards success is focusing on taking care of your health and well-being. When I was in my dark bubble, I started first taking care of myself, my sleep, properly hydrated. I try to go to the gym. And then that's when the time that I get that positive energy. And
Hmm.
that positive energy is being transmitted and mirrored back
Yeah.
to me as
Yeah.
well. So it gives me so much joy and fulfillment in terms of my health and well-being, my relationship, and it improved my performance.
Sure,
Yes.
absolutely,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
That's why I'm glad that you focused on the health and well-being, because that's always the first step towards
Hmm.
success.
Yeah, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And that's the beginning of my journey. And the another main reason, if you want to go to a secondary sort of sustaining force, is just the momentum that you get once you begin that journey, right? So, in 2018, I weighed 230 pounds and I
How much
began
was that again? Sorry, I didn't get it.
230 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
230. Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. And I began to watch some YouTube videos, cook healthy food, and I gradually lost weight. And from the beginning, when I started losing like a pound a week, 4 pounds a month, and then I did it 2 months in a row, that was when the momentum started. And I started feeling better. I started enjoying the process. I was enjoying the food that I was making, and the momentum just grew from there. And things got better and better and better. And the more weight that I lost, the more motivated I was to continue. And there wasn't very much stress involved. This is how I want to live my life right now, and I'm just not going to think about it. I'm just going to do it. And that momentum is still going with me today because I've lost the weight, I've gained it, I've lost it, I've gained it. I'm back to a healthy weight, but that momentum now carries into other areas of my life and the other changes that I need to make so that I continue to grow and I continue to increase the joy in my life and transmit that to others, the energy, like you were saying.
Mhm.
Um,
See?
that's what my company, the Healthy Vibration, is all about, is the energy.
Yeah.
Um, you
And I
know,
think that's the thing that keeps you on fire.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
your purpose.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And I can rest easy in the knowledge that even if I were to stop becoming a coach today, the changes that I've made are going to continue growing with me because health and wellness will always be a focus for me, regardless of whether or not I'm trying to make a living doing it. Um, it is a passion for me, and I've seen the benefits, and I know that it's something I want and need to continue. So, there's
Well,
comfort in that too.
exactly. And we are models for other people to follow our footprints. So
Hmm.
that's the main reason why I like sharing stories because instead of them waiting for me, I'm already old, for how many years to reach what I've reached, why not take the shortcut? Why
Yeah,
recreate your life?
right, right, right.
Uh, so you could live the life you love as early as
Absolutely,
possible.
absolutely. I was
Mm.
talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about acquired wisdom, and I don't remember how it came up or what we were talking about. But I was saying that I've learned all these things along the way. I've learned a lot of them the hard way, and honestly, there's probably a better way that I could have done it and still come out with the same amount of wisdom, Like
Mhm.
you can do these things earlier with a better focus and a better approach and still get the same results. I've got a lot of wisdom, but I made, probably worse than average decisions along the way that I had to overcome just to get to where I am. And there are much better ways to get the same wisdom. Absolutely.
I think the only key is our willingness.
And I definitely wasn't before. I had
Uh,
no interest in doing the right thing.
it took me 6 years also to go out of my dark bubble because of fear, our
Mm,
blockages.
hmm
What would other people say about me? Or
hmm
did I make the right decision? Or will I
hmm
make a mistake? What
hmm
happens now if I fail? What would they say? It all boils down to fear. And that's why we need to refocus on what we really want in life.
hmm
Especially now, us being coaches, our purpose is not more about ourselves, it's more
hmm
about others, right?
hmm Yeah, yeah,
Make
yeah.
an impact,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
leaving a legacy
Yeah.
while we're still here on earth. And
Hmm.
I've heard a lot of regrets of a lot of elders. They said that, oh, I wasted my time working, working, working
Hmm.
instead of enjoying my life with my family, giving
Hmm.
quality time with my family. And because during their time, they focused on security of the family. They were not able to leave a legacy. So what do you do? Do you have a program in terms of how you help your clients?
Right, right.
Give
It's
me
it's
a short framework of what you do.
Right, sure. I can give just an outline. I will say that what I've decided to do is try to begin the same with each client, at least for the first session. Like, actually, there's a free consultation where I'll speak with the client or potential client and ask some questions, find out where they are now and what their goals are, and do a little deeper digging to find out, different ways that I might be able to help them. So that's the consultation. If they decide to work with me, the first session oftentimes will be on the wellness mindset, right? Like, because you want to start with your belief system and have the proper mindset in place to know how to think about wellness and make the decisions that are going to be right for you. And the
Mhm.
framework that I've come up with begins with compassion, curiosity, courage, and connection. So those four words, if you're compassionate about yourself and you care about, the way that you talk to yourself, and you care about the way you feel, and you care about the things that you're putting in your body and the things that you do and the people you surround you with in a genuinely authentic way, that's a secure foundation to begin making the right decisions in terms of wellness. So you have to have curiosity in order to do that, and you have to have the courage to try new things so that you're, you know, always moving forward and trying to break out of whatever's keeping you stuck, those bubbles or the barriers that you talk about.
Mhm.
And then connection, like we've been talking about, is essential for the energy exchange and the motivation that you need to continue going. So you have to have the right connections in your life to kind of fuel this journey. And then, there are other things in the mindset that go into the mindset as well. But that's sort of the framework and the foundation that I would use to try to transmit to people. And from
Mhm.
there, I have programs that I've developed, just outlines of the things that are either generally accepted in certain types of programs or that have worked for me, whether you're talking about managing finances and money mindset, budgeting skills, and then financial goals like caring for an aging parent or, retirement, paying for your kids' education. Like all of that is financial wellness, and the stress that goes around those issues can often lead to heart attacks, stroke, cancer, diabetes, all of these really difficult challenges health-wise. And so dealing with that financial stress is essential. So that's one program. And then there's one around nutrition and movement where you're talking about whole foods, what you put into your body, getting regular movement, getting the right habits in place so that you have healthy food in your home. Um, so there's a program there. And then I've dealt with other things. I've mentioned alcoholism. I'm not a therapist or a recovery support person, but I can help people with those challenges. I can help with smoking cessation. I recommend meditation to everyone. So that's going to be a part of any program that I'm helping someone with. And other things that I have experience with, like weight loss in particular, could be separate from nutrition. Someone could come to me just to get healthier. Someone else could come to me specifically for weight loss. So I have frameworks for different areas. But then, as you know, as a coach, we also have skills to be a guide for those other experiences or goals that people have where we don't have the personal experience, but we've got the tools to
Mhm.
guide them on their journey. And ask the right questions and provide resources and that sort of thing. So that's a more improvisational sort of, approach to other sorts of wellness goals that people might have.
And this is now your business, the healthy vibration, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
So listeners, if you are there stuck in your uh in terms of your health and wellness problems with your weight loss, probably you need a coach. Coach Timothy is here.
That's what I'm here for. Come on, bring
Yes.
it on. Bring it on.
Yes. So what's your goal now for the next 12 months?
Yeah, it's so interesting. There's so much that's happening in my life right now. And I think for me, since we've been talking about social connection, I want to focus on that. In the last couple months, I've started dating again.
Good.
And yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It's really fun to meet people from all walks of life and get to know people, have good conversations. But it does bring up a lot for me because of my past experience in love and loss and that sort of thing. Um, and so for me personally, I'm actually back in therapy to begin to address some of the issues that I've been avoiding that are coming up now as I'm getting back out there. That comes with just connection in general. I'm balancing a lot of different types of relationships, the business networking that I'm doing, the platonic friendships that I'm making through my cafe hopping meetup group that I've started.
Hmm.
Um, so I have a lot of new people in my life, plus potential clients, and all these relationships are about connection. And so the next part of my growth is building those connections and learning from them and overcoming some of the blockages that I have from my past and letting go of some of the trauma or triggers or just bad experiences and memories. That's the next stage of my growth. And it's going to fuel my business just like it's fueling my personal life, you know.
Of course.
Build the business relationships, build the connections where I can give and receive advice.
Yes.
And
Wonderful.
so all comes together under the heading of relationships and connection.
As what I've mentioned, I value connection. So I'm glad that you're starting to go out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
meet new people.
yeah.
And
It's so
that's
much
why
fun.
we were attend the networking events monthly. Do you also attend the Fairfax or it's just the Loudon thing?
So far, it's only Loudon, but I would like to go to the Fairfax
Yeah.
networking event as well. I've heard that's good. So I'm going
I
to give it a
attend the
shot.
Fairfax and Fairfax. It's smaller than Loudon, but
Okay.
we get to know more each other
Hmm.
because we have more time. In Loudon, you only have like a few minutes, and then when you do the round the table thing, it's not that much compared
Mm.
to the small groups. So what do you think again would be your major roadblock in achieving your
My major roadblock is, to be honest, because I spent so much time in isolation as a loner. I'm very independent and I don't often seek advice. And it's just now that I'm beginning this business that I'm completely overwhelmed and I'm forced to ask people, what should I do in this situation?
it's not a
And
weakness to seek advice or to seek
it's not. It's not. And in fact, it's essential, right? It's necessary if I want to be successful. So that's the big skill that I'm trying to learn is how to connect to people, how to even have the intuition or the awareness to say, oh, you know what? Someone else could actually help me with this.
Mhm.
And where I'm at right now, I get in many situations where it just doesn't occur to me to ask anybody. I'll just try to figure it out for myself because
uh,
that's my old pattern, my old way of thinking.
uh,
And that's my biggest roadblock is trying to break out of trying to be independent about everything and just rely on the resources that I have in my life now.
mhm. And that's the main reason why I attend those networking events is because we connect, we collaborate, and we support each other. Just like this one, we're trying to support you to help you get out there because I know you have a lot of things to offer to your clients and
Yes, thank
prospective
you.
clients.
Yes, 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 yes. And
So
I'm
before we end, what would be your simple advice?
simple advice. My focus right now, 100% is enjoying life. 100%. It's why I'm running my own business. It's why I'm dating. It's why I I ride. I just bought this bike you see behind me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting back on the trail after 2 years of not having a bike.
Oh, wow,
It's
good,
why I care for my house plants. I love my plants, and I have like 45 of them. And
wonderful.
you know that it's something I really enjoy. It brings me peace, and I care for a living thing in my home. And everything is about enjoying my life and living in the present moment. And so those two words, enjoy life, they're words to live by.
I love that. So thank you so much, Timothy, for spending time with me and sharing your incredible journey with the listeners today. Actually, your story is a powerful reminder of resilience. We have blockages,
Yeah,
but through this, the listeners would be able to realize that, hey, I'm not alone. We've
right,
gone through
right,
this,
right.
and it just takes enough courage to go out of our
Right.
comfort zone.
Right, right.
and then
And just take
be
those little steps. Yeah,
exactly. And make sure you celebrate those small wins
right.
because it builds your confidence.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
much. And for those listening, wait for our next episode. Bye and
Thank you,
God
Cynthia.
bless.
Thank you.
Okay.
Such an incredible story of resilience and transformation. The journey is a powerful reminder that adversity can lead to profound personal growth and the ability to uplift others. It's inspiring to see how each one turned their challenges into opportunities for healing, especially for those who may feel lost or hopeless. I want to take this opportunity to invite you to explore my books, My Journey into Becoming and Dream to Rise from Darkness into Light. In my journey into becoming, I shared my personal struggles in overcoming an abusive relationship and the heart-wrenching moments that followed, ultimately finding my purpose in helping others live their dreams. Dream to Rise, an anthology, combines the stories of 18 courageous co-authors who illuminate the path from darkness to light, each narrative showcasing the profound impact that sharing our truths can have on those who are struggling. Together, we can inspire change and encourage others to embrace their own journeys. Remember, your voice matters, and there is a community of support waiting to lift you up. Let's continue to be beacons of hope and make a difference in this world. Thank you for being here and for everything you're doing to help others rise. For those who would like to be a part of the Dream to Rise Inner Circle, this is a mastermind group that fosters learning and growth. My main objective is to help the members rise and shine. Be a part of this amazing group and let's thrive to be the best version of ourselves. If you need more information, please visit my website www.dreamtorise.info. Again, www.dreamtorise.info. Have a blessed day to all.